Hey there, everyone. It's your girl Barbie J here with a recap and review of All the Queen's Men, Season 3, Episode 12, The Crossroads. And I don't always do the synopsis, but I wanted to read the synopsis this time because it was weird. It says Babyface comes to an arrangement with a new benefactor. And I'm like, huh? So I'm like, that must be Miss Tandy. But then it says, Madam and her daughter crew are on high alert at her father's funeral. Somebody tell me, what is a daughter crew? And lastly, it says, Trouble and Champ draw the wrong kind of attention at Club Eden. That must be when the popo rolls in. But anyhow, before we get started, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please take a moment right now, hit that subscribe button, then hit the notification bell and select all to let you know every time I upload any new content to this channel, June BLC. Then I ask that you smash that like button, write a comment, join the conversation, and share because sharing is caring. So this episode starts off with Madam being brought into the police precinct and asking for an attorney. They said after you're booked, then DA Rhodes comes over and asks the young white police officer, did she put up a fight? And he said, no. She said, and Madam was like, why would I? I am a model citizen. And she said, well, you're going to have to let her go. He's like, why? What about the murder charge? Her sister dropped the charges. So the thing is, had Madam put up a fight, they would have uh, probably got her on resisting arrest or something like that. So they had to let her go, and DA Rhodes was pissed. So when Madam got out the precinct, her boys were all there and Blue. Well, should say all the boys except Fuego and Amp. She told them she liked Teflon, stuff don't stick to her. So that's why she was in and out so quick. Midnight was like, they usually had me in there at least an hour. So anyway, she gets in the car to leave with Blue and Tommy, and Midnight asked her what should she do with the Igga in the basement. She said, leave him there. That bullet was in and out. He won't bleed out. Let him sit there and think about what he did. Meanwhile, Face is over there asking Doc, can he stay over there? Doc said, nah, I got money coming through or something like that. Then he asked Midnight. Midnight said, no, I got something planned. So Face is out, shit out of luck. Somebody remind me why Face can't go home. Is it because of that thing with Miss Patty that he knocked her over the roof and he think they're watching him? Because I thought he already went to jail and got let go out of it for that. So somebody put that down in the comment section for me, please. So now they're driving Madam home, and she lets them know that Carla dropped the charges. And Blue is like, why? She said, I don't know, but I'm sure there's some self-serving reason. And if she don't make it to that funeral tomorrow, y'all bring that biatch to me. And they're like, we'll do, madam. Next, we have Fuego showing up in the basement of Eden. I'm like, does everybody just have a key to get into Eden? How did El Fuego get in there? But I tell you one thing, Big D was glad to see him. He's like, well, what you doing here, man? He's like, don't worry about that. He said, well, I'm glad to see you. Thanks for having mercy on me and stuff. And, he was talking, and Fuego said he seemed like a good guy and he don't deserve to be up in here. And so Big D is worried about what Madam's going to do when she find out that he got out. And he's like, maybe you don't want to think about that and no. He said, well, what are they going to do to you when they find out you let me go? He said, I'll worry about that when the time comes. So Big D said to him, I know that the guys give you a hard way to go because you're the only one that's like sane left in the group and stuff. He said, but I'm glad I got to experience it for real. You're a real dude, brother. You real deal. I'm with you for life, or something like that he was saying. So, Fuego said, you should stay with me tonight and then make your way out of town tomorrow while she's at her father's funeral. And he was like, thanks, and Fuego helped him out the door and he was limping with his whole leg all bandaged up. Then we got a quick scene with Face. He done showed up to Miss Tandy's house. Sweet talked his way into the door. She said, I ain't got no time for your arrogant ass tonight. He was like, I promise not to say anything arrogant today, to you while I'm here. So she let him come in and he sweet talked her into staying overnight. She asked him what his angle was, but like he said, he just wanted to lay eyes on her and make sure she was okay for himself. And she said, I appreciate that. So she wanted to know how much extra all of this was going to cost, this attention. But he said he'll make a special price for her because, he got mouths to feed. I said, this trifling man probably don't never go see his kids. So she let him stay overnight, and the next morning there was breakfast sitting out there waiting for him and everything. He was like, I could get used to this. I said, I know that's right. And then he she came to the door all dressed up and stuff, saying she was going to the hospital to see her husband and that she was going to give him a key so that she can have him whenever she wants him. And Miss Tandy also told him as soon as her husband gets out the hospital that he can't stay anymore, that Face can't stay anymore. So he was like, okay, cool. So now over at Madam's house, we got Tommy in the kitchen cooking, and Madam sits down and she's like, what's all this? He said, oh, I just wanted to make something special for you. She said, oh, you gonna make me my special eggs Benedict? Maybe it's to make up for the how you been effing up lately. And he's like, what do you mean, Madam? She said, didn't you let concierge in on your watch? Yeah. Didn't you let Big D get Casanova out on your watch? Yes, madam. I'm sorry, it won't happen again. She said, look, I gave you this damn promotion because Blue was going through something. She said, but if you don't keep it up, you gonna go back to being cleanup guy slash pussy eater slash chef only. I said, oh snap. So then she gets a call from Blue. And Blue lets her know that she's over at eating and Big D's not in the basement. She said, well, where he at? How the F he get out of there? She said, I don't know. You want me to look for him? She said, nah, I'll go look for him after the funeral. So now over at Doc's apartment, we got Detective Davis in his bed. Doc is already up, dressed, looking real good to go to, Madam's father's funeral. Doc is fine. I ain't lying, y'all. He's probably my favorite out of all the guys from Eden. He would have to be. So Detective Davis was like, oh, we're not going to get in another round. And she was like, I really kind of want to talk to you. And I need to let you know some stuff on Madam and all this stuff. And he's like, look, you got to get up. You got to get up. I got to go. And so she's just trying to get it. She's like, I really need to talk to her. I really need her help. I got information for her, blah, blah, blah. She's doing all. He said, fine, that's all well and good, but you got to go. Let her know next time, And she said something about her military sources tell her that they got eyes on concierge. And he's like, yeah, bet. Okay, I'll let her know. Come on, we got to go. She's like, damn, okay. He opened that door for her and put her out like she just like nothing. I don't even know if she paid for that one. Because remember, she need money. Now over at El Fuego's house, he all suited and booted, as Big D called it, ready to go to the funeral. And Big D is thanking him again for letting him stay. And he said he was thinking about skipping town, but he think he's going to stay. And what do you think I should do? And Fuego said, honestly, I don't know. So, Big D is like, I think I'm going to go talk to, Madam and tell her what happened. Because what I was doing was just for an old friend. It wasn't like I wasn't trying to get mixed up in all this mess. And then he added, you guys at Eden got a real strange relationship. He said, yeah, I guess you could say that. So Fuego left to go to the funeral. He said he got to go pay his respects. Now, this quick scene was funny with Tommy and Madam in the car. and Madam was like, remember, we can't let nobody know that my father's alive. He said, I got it, Madam. He said, you want me to cry? I've been practicing. She looked at him and said, don't F this up, Tommy, okay? Not today. He said he'd been practicing crying. He's like, okay, madam. And she said, plus, I think concierge is going to try something, and I need everybody to be alert. So now we see Blue and Dime standing there waiting for Madam to arrive, and Amp rolls up, and he says, hey, and he starts talking to Dime, and she says her condolences. She said, I know you and Cadillac were close when you were little. And he's like, yeah. And he started telling a little story and stuff. And then he said, can I talk to you for a moment? And she's like, I really don't want to talk. And Blue just moved away and gave them their space. And he told her, I just want you to know I'm not wilding out anymore. And she said, that's good for your sake. And he said, for yours too. And he's asking her for another chance and all this stuff. He just want her to understand. And she's like, this is not the time or place. I really don't want to talk. And she's right. This wasn't the time for it, Amp. It really wasn't. So then it got interrupted by Blue saying, Amp, Madam's here. So Madam and Tommy get out the car. And Doc comes up to her, give his condolences. She says, thank you. And then she asks him, did he find out any more stuff from the detective? And he said, yes, she told me some information about the concierge. And she said, oh, that biatch might be useful after all. And then after she told him to stay on her and keep pumping her for all the information he could get. Then El Fuego gave his condolences and said, I just wanted to let you know, no matter what's going on between us, you in my thoughts and prayers. And she's like, thank you, El Fuego. Then Trouble tried to say something, and Madam just kept looking straight. Her and Champ was standing there on the left, and she ain't say a word to them. And she got up to the front, and there was Carla. And they started talking. And Carla let her know that she knows. And she said, you know what? She said he came to see me when I was in the hospital. And so she knows, she's like, if you F this up for our father and get this, she was like, I'm not gonna say nothing. But Carla was trying to get on that train with what Cadillac was saying with they should work together. And Madam was like, she ain't trying to hear that mess. It ain't happening that way. And she's like, you owe me. I got your charges dropped. She leaned down and said, I don't owe you nothing, biatch. I said, oh, Lord. So they went back and forth for a minute. And what was strange is that El Fuego was sitting right there. All the guys are sitting right there. They had to have heard what was being said between them, but they act like they didn't. Mind you, now Carla was in a wheelchair and had a neck brace on. Let me tell y'all. So Madam and them go sit down, and Carla is helped up to the podium so she could start talking about her father. And she just going on and how she sacrificed her life, to take care of him, and how she did this, and we're family and we're sisters and we're blood and all this stuff. And Madam's like, oh my God. And Champ said she didn't even look at you. And Chubb was like, I don't even like funerals. I was just coming here so I could be on the good side of Madam. She didn't even look this way. He said, what do you mean she didn't look at us? She didn't look at me. I said, no, she didn't, Champ. She didn't even look your way. So dude need to stop with the BS. So the next thing you know, Madam about lighting up a cigarette, and she's like, something is off. Something ain't right. And she stands up and starts looking around. And then you see a shot because you heard the helicopter or something above. And there's a shot. And it shot right through the urn that had the father's ashes in it. It was crazy. They started running. Tommy picked up Madam and was running with Madam through the crowd. I mean, people was going everywhere. She said, put me down. And he put her down, and she started running right in step. And then she took off that hat. They opened the back of her car, and everybody pulled out machine guns and started shooting. Trying to shoot at the helicopter. I mean, it was on and popping. So Madam said it looked like it was concierge, but he didn't want to show. He's too scared to show his face today. So she said, get everybody out of here. I'm done with this effing funeral. And everybody bounced. Now we have Casanova showing up at the precinct. D.A. Rod stops him and asks him how Jack Watson is doing. He said it's touch and go right now. He hasn't changed, So she said, well, Miss Watson said that Madam did this. And he said it doesn't make any sense. Now, y'all, she keep calling Tandy Miss Watson, but I'm going to go back to calling her Miss Tandy, okay? So D.A. Rod said, I know you're not trying to defend her. He said, no, I'm not. But she said, look, if Miss Watson said it, then that's what I'm going on. So she said, I'm sick of Madam getting away with all these crimes, And then Casanova's phone rings, and it's Big D. And he's saying, I need help. They found out that I was helping you, and I got you out of there. And he's going to tell him, well, you wasn't on the police payroll, so I can't help you since they wasn't paying you, so you can't get no protection. He's like, wow, after all I done for you for this case. And he's like, there's nothing I could do right now. He's like, really, dude? And he's like, I freaking saved your life. And he said, I appreciate that, but you got sloppy in that. I said, he got sloppy. You was about to die, and he saved you. You got sloppy, Casanova. You got sloppy. Anyway, Big D hung up pissed as ever. And y'all know I don't like Face, because Face up there trying to get her to drop her husband who's in the hospital dying so she could get with him. He trying to make a space for himself at her house. You know what I mean? Because he's like, you can't be into him that much if you always in the club. I said, yeah, but he got money and you don't, Face. And you got a bunch of kids that you ain't even taking care of, and you gonna try to get her to take care of your kids, ain't you? So basically she was like, I don't want to talk about it right now. He said, we don't have to talk about it, but I got something else you could do with your mouth. And she went down on this fool. I was like, girl, I know you're not still paying him for doing this. You giving him a treat, honey. Phew. So now we have Madam in the car, and she's talking to Detective Davis, and she's telling her that her people got eyes on concierge, and that she said, you know how much surveillance costs, so I'm going to need some more money. And she's like, okay, swing by the club, and I'll give you some more money. She's like, thank you, Madam. I wouldn't ask if I didn't need it. Then she told Madam, I'm really good at what I do, and I'm willing to work for you. I'd be an asset. And she said, willing? She said, you practically begging for a position. I said, damn, Madam. Madam could be real cold. She said, I could hear your desperation through the phone. She said, this conversation is over. She hung up on her. I said, damn. Then D.A. Rod had the nerve to show up at El Fuego's apartment trying to get him to flip, I guess, on Madam and them, everybody at Eden. And she's saying, just tell us what we need to hear and we'll protect you. We'll be your new family. That's what she does, right? She calls you family. And she kept calling Fuego Alonzo. I'm a servant of the court. I will call you by the name with it that you want me to call you by. She's doing all this BS talking, and Fuego wasn't here for it. And she's like, you're a good church boy, and you just got mixed up with the wrong people and stuff. I can't tell you what you want to hear. He said, I'm not gonna make up no lies on somebody, because like you said, I'm a good church boy. She said, then don't let them drag you into hell. I said, no, she didn't. She said, and then she goes, hack into the computers at Eden and let us know what Madam is really up to. I was like, he a church boy, but you want him to do something illegal. Hello? Then Fuego said, wait, are you the ones who hacked into my computer? She said, we don't employ illegal tactics. He said, no, you just ask regular citizens to do it. So Fuego got annoyed and he was like, you know what? I got work to do. Bye. And he opened the door so she could get out. She's like, okay. She ain't had no other choice. Then we have Madam in her office looking all cute. And Blue comes in and said, trouble's here. And I'm like, uh-oh. Madam's like, let her come in. And Trouble started wanting to apologize. She said, biatch, don't you speak before I tell you to. I said, oh. And she's like, I'm sorry, Madam. So Madam tells Trouble to explain herself, and Trouble's basically saying that she's sorry. She didn't mean to do that. You know, I'm loyal to you. She said, are you loyal? Because she said, biatches who are loyal don't usually run around lying on people who they supposed to be loyal to. I was like, damn, she said it like that, and throwing dirt on their names. She's glad Miss Tandy told them, you know, so Trouble was like, I swiped a card to help this one, and I told such and such about Casanova, and I did this. She said, and that's the only reason you're not getting suspended. She said, else you would. You have been bringing in some money. And Trouble was like, thanks for recognizing. She said, what? You ain't special. She said, I could get another one of you in a heartbeat. She said, so tonight you will not be tipping out. I will be keeping your whole bag. She said, Madam, are you serious? She said, let me tell you something. The last person who crossed me, they ended up in a morgue. She was like, yes, Madam. And Blue said, conversation over, be out. So now we back over at the club, and Face is coming in the room telling them he all in good mood and stuff, telling them that he got him a new sponsor who is way more richer than Miss Patty. And somebody said, who dumb enough to take Miss Patty's place? And he said, Miss Tandy. And what's his name? Amp said, I thought she like dudes much younger than you. And they all start laughing. So while they joking around and laughing, Doc goes, yo, where's Big D at? And Midnight said, I doubt if y'all gonna be seeing him tonight or any other night. And Amp was like, word? And Fuego was like, don't be so damn excited. He said, shoot, we ain't got to split it 6 ways, the money. And him and Face like slap 5, you know, Amp and Face slap 5. So then it switches over to Madam's office, and Tommy and Blue are in there. And Big D had the nerve to come, and Tommy grabbed him and had him up against the wall. And Madam was like, put him down, put him down. Blue got her gun. She'll shoot him if she have to. So he sat down and broke it down and explained his side and his story. And Madam was thinking he got a lot of balls to come up in here and a lot of nerve, you know. And she asked him how to get out. He said, that's not important. And he just started telling his story. And she ended up letting him stay. I don't know how, but Madam ended up letting him stay. She said he can't dance with the premier dancers anymore. He's been demoted down to the amateurs. And he said, bet, you know, that's what he liked. But he ain't limping no more. He was limping when Fuego had to get him out of that basement, that's for sure. But Madam did say now he gonna be her snitch, and he gonna have to work for her and let her know any information he finds out from the precinct and everything. And he's like, word, okay. You know, he talk all crazy and stuff, whatever he be saying. I don't even understand the sentences he be putting together. I tell you, I'm like, what does Big D be saying, y'all? I don't even understand half the stuff he's saying. So Big D leaves out of there, and Blue is like, are you sure about that, Madam? You know, he might get running his mouth, and, you know, it might be a little risky. And she's like, you know, I'm not afraid of anything. I take risks. You know, basically, we're playing chess here, okay? And she's like, okay, Madam. So now the 5 VIP dancers, they get finished doing their thing. And I'm up here enjoying the view, you know, from my bedroom. And Blue stops Face and tells him he has a VIP. So he goes up there, and it's Miss Tandy. And she's all sad, and come to find out that her husband, Jack Watson, died. And he's like, for real? He said, what you want me to do? She said, I want you to make me feel good. I need you to take the pain away. And you know, that's what he did. Meanwhile, downstairs, the amateurs are on stage, which means Trouble is up there, and so is Champ and a few other dancers. When the po-po rolls in, and so they asking for these three dancers, and you know it's the young white guy cop again, and he has two other cops with him. And so Blue asked who? He said Rayshawn Williams, Aaron Swade, and Charles Bradley. This is the first time we hearing their names. And she said, I only know one of those names, and he ain't here. He said, do you know a Champ in a Trouble? And she's like, I don't know what you're talking about, officer. He said, isn't that them right there on the stage? So he told the other two officers, come on. And they go around there to the stage, and Blue's following them. And then Dime sees it, and she joins in the walk. But I don't know where they went afterwards. And the police officers actually went up on the stage. And I don't know how the music stopped because Dime ain't there. So there must be another DJ somewhere in the place. And the officer get up on the stage and say, hey, that's enough. You two come with me. And the music stops. I'm like, how did they hear his voice over that? And Trouble said, we ain't going nowhere. So he's like, you do this the easy way or the hard way. And Champ was like, I ain't going no effing where. And he told the other two cops to cuff him. And they like, what is this about? You two are under arrest for the murder of Jack Watson. I said, uh-oh. Right in front of everybody, they got arrested. So that's how this episode went. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about it down in the comment section. And please do not forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. And I will see you all in the next video. It's your girl, Barbie J, saying peace.